And I feel that now we are being opened to that goddess consciousness that is ready to be present on Earth again. So let's see what we can unravel about that star Algol. Hi, lovely human beings. Today we're going to take a look at the fixed star Algol in the Perseus constellation. Algol sits at about 26 degrees 35 minutes in Taurus in 2030. So fixed stars, they are moving at a rate of 1 degree every 72 years. So if you were born, let's say in 1980, the star would have been at 25 degrees 53 minutes. It has an orb of 2 degrees. So if you have a planet or other important points in your chart from 24 till 28 degrees, then you will have this connection to Algol. So see where Algol falls in your chart. You can do that on astroseek.com or astro.com, whatever suits you. Algol is one of the 15 Behenian stars and is considered the most malefic of all the stars. Algol is often referred to as the blinking eye of the demon and is linked with evil, suffering, pain, death, intoxication, tragedy. She brings accidents, crises, loss and psychological instability, piled up corpses, yes, decapitation, hanging, disaster, sudden death, electrocution, murder, mischief, victory over others, and great electrifying beauty and attraction at last. Connected to accidents, and I just spilled my coffee here. I have a lot of Algol connections. So when I was studying classical astrology years ago, I always felt very bad when I heard that I had such a malefic connection. And the more I get into galactic astrology, the more I want to also explore the other side of the coin. What else is there to Algol that previously we were unaware of because of our limited consciousness? There was a lot of bad versus good, and now we are entering in a time of integration where we can value the completeness of that star. And some of these higher vibrations of a certain star were in the past not yet ready to be explored and discussed. And I feel that now we are being opened to that goddess consciousness that is ready to be present on Earth again. So let's see what we can unravel about that star Algol. First of all, let's go back to the mythology. Algol sits in our heavens at the decapitated head of Medusa. So it's very aligned and linked to that story of Medusa. Medusa was originally a beautiful maiden, which shows that Algol can make things very beautiful. A dominant Algol can be an omen for success. Her beauty caught the eye of Poseidon. According to some, Medusa had made love to Poseidon in the shrine of Athena, who then punished her by giving her a snake haircut, and anyone who gazed at her directly would be turned into stone. So she was turned into this Gorgon monster by Athena. So here we have this beautiful woman turned into something of a monster. Both sides, the beauty and the darker feminine, are present. And of course, we recognize here the demonization of the women, like so many times in the past. The symbolism of the serpent is very ancient and talks about both dark and light attributes. The serpent carries ancient knowledge. They are healing and very transformative. They constantly regenerate into a new skin or life force. They shed their skins to renew themselves constantly. So in that way, they are eternal beings. They are the Kundalini life force. And on the other hand, it is the sign of evil and dark forces. So the snakes on her head could symbolize both. She could have been a very wise, wild, prophetic woman, a goddess, a seer, a witch, the raw feminine power that acts upon urges, senses, emotions. Hero Perseus sought out Medusa and decapitated her with the bronze shield while she was asleep. He did that as he was walking backwards, looking at her image in the reflection of his shield. So the mirror reflected the demon's image. We conquer our dark by reflection. Otherwise, we can be paralyzed by them. So here we have a man decapitating the raw powers of a female, a man claiming his power in relation to the dark feminine. Well, we know this story. This has been played out for thousands of years, and the female powers have been suppressed, shamed, blamed, and decapitated for years and years and years. So the metaphor of beheading has been used to express the dehumanization of women. So why does Perseus, a man, decapitate her here? Are we afraid of her wisdom, her dark power, her knowledge, her transformative power? What do we release when we cut free from our deepest instincts and desires? Decapitation might also talk about losing the mind, losing the ego, and total spiritual liberation. The symbol of a decapitated head is associated with prophecy, creativity, and transformation. I imagine that people with a strong Algol embody these characteristics. Now, the eye that turns people into stone is, of course, the window to the soul. So whoever looks into the power of this raw force becomes paralyzed. It's a reflection of their own self that they are not ready to see, maybe. Do they see the truth in her eyes, true knowledge, themselves in their purity? Does that scare us to look so deeply into our own soul? Have we been afraid of what we see in the eye of truth and raw life force? Does it paralyze us to see our power, our dark and light side? The awful beauty of Medusa carries so much of our own untapped power that we dare not to look her in the face. If we do that, we might be terrified of what we really see. So a lot of the information that I researched comes from this book, Fixed Stars in the Horoscope by Oscar Hoffman, and from this book, Living Lilith, by Kelly Hunter. And I'm gonna read something for you. To see deeply into the dark side of life, its wilderness and chaos, can be profoundly transformational and freeing if one can endure the intensity of this encounter that strips the ego bare, exposes the naked soul. Algol can bring us to this edge. Yeah, and this is also very important for Algol. Do I fear the darkness more than I love the awakening? A very important one for all of us to ask ourselves. Do I fear the darkness more than I love the awakening? So, the power of the feminine has many times been called evil for actually being strong. And that's something different, right? Algol carries that collective rage for the suppression and repression of this power. We see Algol a lot in charts of radical artists like, for example, Frida Kahlo, Picasso, Andy Warhol, also Johnny Depp, Mick Jagger, all kind of artists with an edge. In politics, it might show brutality for the cause of radical liberation from authority, for example, anti-war campaign by destroying. It can be compared to a Kali or Lilith energy. It is not soft, but it is true to itself. It has the bigger goal and bigger picture in sight. It knows what needs to be cut off to be free. From the cut-off severed neck from Medusa flies Pegasus, the flying horse. The imagination is freed from the paralyzing fear of the ego when confronted by the dark feminine eye. It can fly free now. Drops of blood from one side of Medusa's head become a healing potion, and from the other side they become a poison. So the blood that dripped from her decapitated head was said to birth new life and was linked to the magic of the menstrual cycle. What is also interesting to note is that Perseus saved Princess Andromeda from the sea monster, but cut off the head of Medusa, the snake-haired monstrosity. So the nice sweet girl needs to be saved, but the wild feminine needs to be silenced. Because that is another thing. To behead someone is to silence them in a way, because it cuts through the throat chakra. And it is by using Medusa's head that Perseus succeeded in rescuing Princess Andromeda from the sea monster, by using the head as a protective or a killing device, let's say. Her head is often seen as a protective amulet that would keep evil away. The Gorgon Medusa, in another form, is a very seductive woman. The unbridled pursuit of desires and lust gratification, magnetic attraction, aesthetic temptation, the beauty as well as the craziness. It goes wrong with Algol because the desires dominate too much, causing chaos, which is expressed by the snakes on her head. The way out of overpowering instincts is to distance yourself and sacrifice what is no longer needed, Medusa's head. So chopping off is choosing what is really valuable and what is not. Algol requires discernment, not to be seduced by earthly brilliance, but to choose what is good and cut away the other. So what can Algol bring you? Radical detachment that frees you from the power that others have over you because of your own desires. Detachment from this brings real freedom. The star may feel malefic at times, but can be softened by voluntary sacrificing the desired nature. Will you cut off your head, or will the star cut your head off? Medusa is a powerful symbol of magic and transformation and feminine power. While she is a monster, her hair of snakes wards off evil and enhances her psychic abilities. The goddess turned into the Gorgon. She never ceased to be mighty and powerful, dead or alive, even through tragedy and her transformation from oracle goddess to monster, to decapitated head. She was able to hold her power constantly. Medusa rebirthed herself, and through every transformation, she only became stronger. When this energy is used consciously, it is incredibly powerful. Algol embodies the monster, but also the goddess, the oracle, and the incredible power of transformation. Using Algol in a positive light helps to rewrite the story and shine a new light on the dark feminine. Rather than being the most malefic star linked with horrors, we can see it in its totality, a star of transformation, awakening, protection, and owning one's power. So I've done my own meditation on Algol. This is what I got. Algol carries the imprint of the sacred feminine. That's what we already discussed. And it carries also witch energy. Now, when I asked about, is this Is it white witch energy? The answer is yes. Is it dark witch energy? The answer is also yes. Because Algol is a neutral, raw force. And the difference between dark and light is actually the way you use it. So if you, let's say spelling, the spelling of words is actually casting spells. So if you decide to, with your words, curse someone or put hate into the world, that would be a darker form of magic. That is what you choose to make of it. It is not that magic is dark or witch is dark or white. It is just neutral. It's how you, it's your intention, the intention with which you use it. So I saw a lot of darker green colors there, a lot of spiky energy and an auroric sky with this kind of darker green. Also dark green mountains, and the earth I saw was made of, it was not soil, it was not sand, but it was like all grind up rocks and crystals, but darker, blacker. It's really a planet of alchemists and magicians. Again, whatever you do with that energy is your own choice, is your own energy. It's your own intention with which you use that energy. But yes, there is a raw force of magicians and alchemists and witch energy there in Algol. And I had a Merlin energy there too. So I feel Merlin is aligned with that energy of Algol too. It gives you that power of whether you make something light or dark or negative or black and all these opposites, when actually it's neutral. It just is. So the star seeds of Algol, they bring a lot of courage and strong willpower here too. A strong alchemical power. So the Algol star seeds, they bring alchemical change to Earth. And if strong energy is needed for that, they will bring it. They will not hold back. So it could feel strong or dark at times, but it is just the alchemical transmutation that they bring. It's a powerful transmutation, a powerful force. Yeah, a lot of alchemy, a lot of magical powers, a lot of transmutation powers, a lot of witch powers. So yeah, please check out your own alignments to Algol. That might be really interesting. That might be really nice. Please comment in the comment section. I hope that you learned something. I wish you all a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.